Hey there, Saints fans. We're about to break down some rumors around New Orleans. Sean Payton, some trade ideas floating out there as well. And we're going to keep you guys covered with everything going on around New Orleans this entire offseason. News, rumors, free agency, draft trade, you name it, we've got you guys covered. So if you want that, all for free, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. Hello, friends. Welcome into New Orleans Saints Now. I am Tom Downey, here with the latest around the New Orleans Saints. And one of the interesting, intriguing ideas out there at the current moment involves Sean Payton and his future as a member of the New Orleans Saints. There's been some buzz, some theories, some speculation out there that maybe Sean Payton could leave New Orleans in some capacity, in some form, after this particular season. Now, Sports Illustrated, the Connor Orr to be exact, they had all the arguments why Payton could choose to leave. You know, they don't have a quarterback right now. Maybe the Jags or Bears intrigues him. Maybe he wants to retire. Maybe he wants to go into broadcasting. And then the weird part was maybe he wants to wait for a generation or a transcendent passer like Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams. It was the actual name, one of those three names, very unlike the other two in there, by the way. The three options kind of laid out were the following. Request a trade since he is under contract, can't just be granted free agency like other players, for example. Bears and Jags were mentioned. I think the Bears' job could potentially be a little bit more intriguing. He could decide to retire. He's been with the Saints for a long time. And then Albert Breer also mentioned that broadcasting, TV networks, would love to throw money at Sean Payton. Albert Breer went more in depth with some more sourced information here, and I'll kind of condense this down. There have been buzz and whispers around, maybe questions is a better phrase there, around Sean Payton's future. Breer thinks he probably ends up staying with the New Orleans Saints. He's going to say no, he thinks, to going home to Chicago, and that even though the networks are going to make a big run at him, he's got time before he has to make the jump to TV networks there. He also mentioned, I think, would be the likely path here. If Sean Payton were to leave, Mickey Loomis could go into the president type of role. Jeff Ireland comes over as GM, or goes up, I should say, to GM. And Dennis Allen, who I think should be a head coach somewhere, would be the next man up. I think the Saints will be okay. I don't think they lose Sean Payton, though. After all, his 5-year run, pretty damn impressive. Yeah, the playoffs haven't gone the way they wanted it to. Can I even include that missed pass interference call as a big reason why maybe it didn't end up going the way it was supposed to for New Orleans. We'll see about this year's playoffs. Not looking great, but look, man, winning on average 12-plus games a year, that's really impressive stuff in that little 4-year run before this year when quarterback wasn't really a good situation for the Saints. So what is the percent chance you think Sean Payton ends up leaving the New Orleans Saints? This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, go take advantage of it. You can hit here with it, head down to the pinned comment, and let me know what you think the percent chance Sean Payton leaves this offseason is. I myself don't think it's at 0. I think there is a non-zero chance that Sean Payton ends up leaving. But I also don't think it's very high. In fact, I think it's a rather low likely outcome scenario. I would be pretty shook if Sean Payton left the Saints. I'm talking like, I don't know, 3 or 4%, somewhere in that range. I have a very difficult time seeing Sean Payton saying, you know what, I'm good in New Orleans. I'm going to bounce in some capacity. I think he sticks around for probably a couple more years in New Orleans. Let's talk trade now. We mentioned the lack of quarterback issues this year for the Saints. And, well, Baker Mayfield now being linked to the Saints. His future in Cleveland is fairly murky, as the Browns themselves are, well, not quite sure what the quarterback situation is going to be long term. The trade rumors have begun to heat up a little bit. And, of course, the big question here is, can Baker be a franchise QB? Now, CBS Sports laid out 5 different destinations that they thought made sense for Baker Mayfield. The Saints were on this list at number 5. Seattle at number 4, I would assume, as part of a Russell Wilson trade. Denver at 3 if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. Washington, I think, actually could make some sense because Taylor Heineke ain't that guy, fellas. They also put Houston in there at number 1, which I feel like they might just give Davis Mills a shot next year and or just get a future quarterback via the draft. The Saints could be a fit for Baker Mayfield if Sean Payton believes Baker Mayfield can be the guy that the Browns thought he was going to be. They made him the number 1 overall pick. Jameis Winston on IR right now is a free agent, and assuming he's not back, the Saints' options would be Baker Mayfield or Taysom Hill. So pick one to start for me. Type B for Baker Mayfield or type T for Taysom Hill. Neither quarterback has thrown it all that well this year, but I think I would actually rather see Baker. But I want to hear from you. Let me know. T for Taysom Hill, B for Baker Mayfield. There's a tale of two seasons for Baker this past year. 2020, especially in the back half of the year, he actually played really good football. That last 8, 9, 10 games, Baker looked like a potential top 10 quarterback. He was dealing, wasn't turning the ball over, looked awesome. This year, maybe in part because of all those injuries, but also because his footwork went to garbage, Baker was a disaster in 2020. And I think we were all watching Monday Night Football. Baker takes a sack when two guys were wide open. He didn't throw the football. His confidence was shattered, maybe in part because of the injuries. If Sean Payton thinks he can rebuild Baker Mayfield and get him on the cheap, I'm okay with that. But I would wonder if going after Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers makes a little bit more sense for where the Saints roster is at overall. Now, if you want the best Saints offseason coverage, again, it's the news, the rumors, the trade buzz, the free agency updates, the draft coverage. You guys have come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe today for the best Saints offseason coverage anywhere right here at New Orleans Saints Now. Let's talk another trade idea, Calvin Ridley. There was a report out there from Steve Weish of NFL Media, who actually does do some stuff for the Falcons, that said he speculated the all-pro receiver could be looking for a fresh start. The Falcons might be okay with that. Ridley, of course, has been away from the team for most of the season due to mental health issues. Now, Ridley is a very, very talented wide receiver. Fanside had said, well, maybe, but probably not. And I think CBS Sports had a pretty good list of 9. Go to 10, you cowards. 9 potential fits for Ridley. The Colts at number 9, Browns, Niners, Raiders, Jags, Patriots, Bears, Dolphins, and the Eagles. The general trend there was more AFC and no inclusion of any NFC South teams. Now, we'll spend some more time on this, but I want to hear your thoughts first and foremost. Would you trade for Calvin Ridley? There are some problems here we'll get into with this in a second, but I want to hear your thoughts. Why for yes and for no? Would you go out and acquire Ridley if you were the New Orleans Saints? My first question mark here is, would the Falcons trade in division? If they believe in Ridley's talent still, which I would think that they would, you probably don't want to be playing him twice a year. Fair or not, that's how NFL teams operate. That's issue number 1 for the Saints. Issue number 2 is, what is Calvin Ridley's value? When he was on the field in 2019, 90 catches, 2020, my bad. I get so confused with my years sometimes. I was right, 2020. 90 catches, the year, extra year, we're in 2022, it threw me off altogether. 90 catches, almost 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. When he's out there, he's a number 1 receiver. The Saints, though, with no quarterback, might having to invest their first-round pick in some capacity via trade or maybe via the draft, but I'd go trade first and foremost. Well, then you have a tough time sending a potential first-round pick or a second-round pick for Calvin Ridley. But make no mistake, he'd be a big addition to this roster. We'll see what, if anything, Michael Thomas ends up bringing next year for the New Orleans Saints, but Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris, everyone else, Calvin Ridley is way better if he is in the right mental health situation. He's way better than all of those guys, maybe all those guys combined. So from a talent perspective, yes, of course the Saints should have interest there. From a acquisition standpoint, a lot tougher to do. Maybe you could ship off Michael Thomas. I don't know if the Falcons would really want that, given where they're at with their overall roster, plus Thomas's own issues. But, yeah, pick up the phone and see what the asking price is. Maybe you get it super cheap, like the Julio Jones trade, which the Falcons actually did win, by the way. So, we'll see what happens, and make sure you guys are subscribed to New Orleans Saints Now.